Welcome to the Bedroom Studios podcast, the podcast where we talk about what goes on behind the scenes in a musician's world and bridge the industry gap by bringing their stories, expertise, and advice to early career artists. Subscribe to join us for a fun chat about life as a creative person, tips and tricks for pursuing an artistic career, navigating the music industry, and more. My name is Della Rossa. I'm a singer-songwriter based in Toronto, and today I'm interviewing another Toronto-based singer-songwriter, NYRE. NYRE is an emerging force in dark pop, blending cinematic soundscapes, alternative edge, and K-pop influenced production to create a genre-defying experience. She has built a reputation as a visionary artist, crafting immersive sonic worlds that captivate listeners globally. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always weird, hearing your bio back.
I know.
But thank you.
I went through a shift previously where I would read it in front of people, but then after a while, I'm like, no, maybe I should read it off camera afterwards. But now I'm back to reading it in front of the guest.
No, that's what it's like at the beginning of every artist's career, getting over the hurdle of hearing yourself back in audio, or I also did acting when I was younger, so watching myself on screen, I just full on dissociate during these moments.
Yeah, but sometimes you look at it and you're like, yeah, I did
Yeah,
that.
no, that's true. Exactly. That's once you get over the insecurity of oh my god, what do other people think of me, and you're like, wait, I'm kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly, and you are.
You
so
are
I'm so
too.
Excited. Oh, thank you. I'm so excited to have you on. So to start our interview, I was wondering if you could introduce yourself to our audience and give a bit of background on your music and artistic journey.
Totally. Yeah. So hi guys, I'm NYRE. I'm a dark pop artist based in Toronto. The way I kind of describe my sound is if you think of a blend of kind of Halsey and Billie Eilish, I love capturing the cold Toronto winds in synth melodies, but then having the energy and kind of the intimidating but so captivating atmosphere of Toronto in my beats. I love a trap beat. And yeah, my goodness, I started releasing music in 2019, but I had been writing songs for over a decade before that. I was just always too nervous when I was really young to put my voice out there and to put my experiences out there. And so I got started in entertainment through acting, because for me, it was safer to play a character. And if people judged me or people didn't like my performance, I'm like, oh, well, I'm playing a character. It's not me, kind of thing. It had that level of safety, whereas I felt singing didn't, kind of thing, but it was what I always wanted to do. I eventually, I went through my first love heartbreak, and I was like, okay, now I have something to talk about. I need to release these feelings somewhere. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. If the sky comes crashing down, oh well. I released my first 2 songs while I was literally on a trip to Korea, so I wasn't even here. I was like, if everyone I know hates me after this, I just won't come back. I don't know how that would have worked out. People didn't hate me, and I'm here releasing more music now. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world. I'm so happy that I got over that hurdle, and I'm so happy to be a part of the Toronto music community, especially because people are so encouraging and so collaborative, and the community is so wonderful and so supportive. And yeah, my goodness, I lost my train of thought, but I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be in music, and I can't wait to keep going and to keep creating more and more.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
you.
And congrats on your releases. I was listening to your music earlier today, and I'm just like, yes. It's it's stuff I would listen to even if I wasn't interviewing you and if I didn't know you.
Oh.
It's just genuinely so good.
Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet.
It's so funny when you're not funny, but it's interesting to me when you were saying that you felt more comfortable acting than singing, because I feel the complete opposite. I'm so uncomfortable acting, and when we had to do those plays in high school or those dramatic readings, I would literally be up at midnight just crying because I was so nervous.
Oh my god,
to do that.
That's so funny. Oh, I remember that too, because I went to an art school for elementary, and so for me, I was always so excited for monologues or whatnot. But then anytime we ever had to sing in front of the class, I was so excited, internally, because I was like, I get to sing, and I love singing. But then when I would think about others perceiving me singing, oh my god, no, I would die in that moment.
Yeah, it's so vulnerable to anything performance based or opening yourself up. It's
truly,
yeah. Do you feel like you've not gotten over it, but kind of gotten more comfortable with, well, I guess you have because you're
Yeah.
doing it, but like how did you get to that point?
For sure. So that's a really good point, because it's like, at no point did I get over those fears. It's just like a very active choice that like, I am scared. I am nervous. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I feel like I'm gonna like pee my pants before I go on stage. But I'm gonna do it anyway, because I know that even while I feel all these ways and all these nerves and everything, I can still go and do a good job because I've practiced, I put in the work, and I trust myself that even on my worst day, I can still show up and do a good job, kind of thing. And like it always happens that like it's always before you get on stage that all the nerves and all the fear happens. But then once you're on stage, at least for me, like I'm like thinking, okay, like what is the next song coming up? What should I be saying now? Like what is my transition? Like am I able to hear myself like well in my in-ears? Like these lights are so bright. Like where are my parents? Kind of thing. Like what's the next lyric? What is the note? Like there's so much to be thinking about that I feel like when I'm on stage, there's just so much going on that like you have to be so present and like taking care of like all the like actionable tasks of performing that the nerves, it's all just lead up. But if you can get through the lead up and you can walk through the nerves on stage, or not even walk through the nerves, but choose to be like carrying them with you and still getting it done and doing it anyway, doing it scared, doing it nervous, doing it however you have to do it, just do it.
Oh my gosh, I relate so much to all of the chatter and the thoughts in your head. Sometimes I'll like go back and look at my performance, the like videos people took of me when I was performing from last year, and I can visibly see myself thinking.
Yeah,
like,
literally same.
It's on my face. I can see all of the thoughts going through my head as I'm performing.
Do you also have like moments though when like, because I feel like when I watch myself back performing, I can see where I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, I know what I'm thinking right here. Like, this is where I start to doubt myself, or like I start like second guessing myself. But then do you also have moments where you're like, oh, like I thought I looked awkward in that moment, but I look fine. Or like I thought this was like a weird kind of pause or whatnot, but then it looks really cool. And like the way I perceived it wasn't actually like how it was being perceived by others, kind of thing.
Yeah. It's like, for me, it's usually those moments where I let go and I'm not thinking, and then it feels really good, but then immediately after, the judgment comes back and it's like, oh, that was bad. Oh, you looked weird. Your hand was in a weird spot.
Yep, literally. Oh my god, I've had that exact thought. Like, your arm looks weird in this position. That's like,
yes.
That's crazy.
Because I look back on the videos and my arm does look weird.
Yes, and like, but the thing is, like, we think that, but literally no one else would think that watching it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you have nice friends, you'll never know if they're thinking that or not.
True. There you go.
Yeah, but it's not like, I mean, your hand position isn't what makes a good performance. You know,
exactly,
there's so much more than that.
Literally. Oh my goodness.
Your debut EP, Avoidant, is out now on all streaming platforms, and I would love to hear more about the process of writing, recording, and promoting your EP. So to start off, what inspired the songs on the EP, and what did the writing process look like?
Oh my god, this EP... So what inspired the songs? Heartbreak.
Hell yeah.
A breakup. Let's go. My goodness, this EP, like, it encapsulates so many eras of like my youth and my transition into like early adulthood, and it essentially was what I thought was like the one for me, who I thought was like my soulmate, and kind of seeing what I was so sure about, would never second guess it. I would never question it. I was so sure that this person and I, like, we were meant to be, and it was always us against the problem, and all of the things that ended up happening in my mind, there was no way any of those things could ever happen until I was literally staring at them in front of my face, trying everything and more twice over to like stop it, and not being able to stop it, kind of thing. And so that was the catalyst for it. But I feel like the EP is essentially the response to the breakup and the utter heartbreak and like really profound, like life-changing era that I kind of went through, because I was so sure about what I thought my future was going to be. And essentially with this person, I was really okay to almost like settle into like a normal life. Like I wasn't gonna go as hard after the music, because it was essentially after this breakup that I began releasing music. But so this EP kind of speaks to how I tried to heal, and not even heal in reality, go through avoidance and trying to forget and trying to cover up and trying to erase all of the bad memories, and yeah, trying to, like, very manically going through, like, so much almost like derealization and dissociation, avoiding the feelings and the weight of, like, everything that happened and didn't happen, kind of thing. That it goes through, like, all the different stages of, like, my acceptance or my denial of that heartbreak and that relationship coming to an end. And so if you kind of, like, think about the EP and the way that the tracks are set up, the first one is it should I think It Should Be Used, the first one. Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm like, my mind is all over the place.
No, it's all good.
The first song is It Should Be You. And so that one, that's kind of like that's the denial. That's like, what, like, no, like, I shouldn't be feeling bad. Like, you're the one who did me wrong. Like, you should be upset. Like I'm good. I'm okay. Like, but it should be you be feeling sad. And then moving on from, like, that kind of, like, rejection and, like, denial of reality into jokes on me. And that's a little bit of, like, starting to accept and, like, almost come to terms with reality that I do feel so hurt from this, and I felt like what I so idolized fell apart in front of my eyes, and I felt like I was helpless in this process of trying to stop it, and it all just came tumbling down around me. And so that's really sitting with the sadness and the hurt of that heartbreak. And then moving on into the You Didn't Mean It is moving through the sad acceptance and kind of into the, wait, their actions didn't line up with their words. And so maybe I shouldn't be so sad about this, because now when we get a little bit of time and space away from the situation, we're like, that's not normal, the way that person treated me, or the things they would say to me, that's not okay, and that's not how someone who loves you would go about actioning that love that they supposedly have for you. And then that gets us into the final track, which is Main Character. It's much more of, like, an experimental track. And it was actually the first song on the EP that I wrote. And so I was kind of, like, starting in reverse almost. But it was the first song that I wrote when I moved back to Toronto. And this song is essentially, it goes through, I'm going to focus on me now. I'm shifting completely inward, and if I don't get the love story of my dreams, then I'm gonna have the career story. I'm gonna have the success story. I'm gonna go after the music dream I've had since I was 3 years old, and I'm going to throw everything I have into that. And I'm making me the main character of my own life, whereas I felt it had been this other person for so long. And so that's kind of, like, track by track, a breakdown.
Listening to the EP, I thought that, like, something you really captured so well was that feeling of having all the songs rooted in this experience that happened in the past, but also coming at it from a point of, like, being in, I guess, like, in the future, in the present. And as a listener, I really felt that, like kind of looking at it in retrospect and feeling that, like, distance of, like, okay, this is where we are in the present, but emotionally we're still in that space, and then, like, moving away from that as the songs go on.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that came across, because that's literally, like, what it was. It was, for so long, I was avoiding the reality of my feelings that it took years to almost get to this place now where I can reflect back on it in a coherent way and speak to what I was going through and what we were going through, kind of thing. And so I'm so glad that comes across. So thank you.
So in terms of the production process, did you have a specific sound or style in mind before you started writing, like, in terms of just sonically with the production, or did that develop as the songs took shape?
It honestly, that kind of came together, like, as the songs came together, kind of thing, because the whole EP, honestly, the EP, it was written in reverse of, like, the song order, and the writing was spread out from, like, late December. I wrote Main Character, like, December 27th of 2021, and then the final song was It Should Be You, and that was written January 3rd of last year, 2024. And so it took the writing all of the songs, it kind of like, it took a span over about like those 3 years kind of thing. And so I didn't really know that it was going to be an EP package until my manager, he offered the idea. I think what was it around? It was around probably like January or February 2024, and he was saying like we have all these songs that like you've kind of been building up throughout your songwriting sessions, like what about that other song that you showed me a few months ago that like you did on your own kind of thing, like these all kind of feel like they have the same vibe going on. What would you think about releasing an EP? Because I always wanted to release a bigger project. I just hadn't kind of before, like things hadn't come together for it to make sense. But then when he said that, I was like, wait, that's an interesting idea. And so that kind of was then narrowing down all of the songs that I have in like the bank into like what makes sense, what feels real, and what speaks to the era of my life that I had been going through. And so we settled on these 4 songs. And so the last 2 songs, Main Character, that one was produced with an amazing friend of mine who's also a dark pop artist. His artist name is Atmospheres. Producer name is Amir Fabiani. So good. He produced that track for me. And he also did a bunch of the melody production on You Didn't Mean It. He's based in the States, so it was like a lot of working over Discord and Zoom. And then that was like March, April, I think, of like 2023, or even 2022. I can't even remember now. That song was like, it was a while ago. And then we did You Didn't Mean It, and we brought on a third producer, Matt Doherty, and he brought in so much of the cool, like the beat arrangement to it, and that really finished off that one. And then it was late 2023 when I met Jonathan Kakar, who produced Jokes on Me and It Should Be You. We had like a coffee chat in October, and then we were like, yeah, no, there's like definitely like a vibe here going on. We want to create a bunch of music together. And Jokes on Me was the first full song that we wrote. We wrote a half of a different song before it, but like we got halfway through that other song, and it was like, there was an idea, it was really cool, but like we just didn't feel it kind of thing. So we're like, honestly, like maybe like the aggressive kind of vibe that we were going for with the first song wasn't the moment. And then so we went into sad Jokes on Me land, and we literally wrote that song. Like there was no pause like throughout the entire thing. It was like I was just like, I was trauma dumping this monumental love that like fell apart in my life to him. And he's like, so joke's on me, like joke's on you, but like you said joke's on me. That's interesting. That's a little something there. And the song just like flowed out completely. And then, so yeah, like a month later we wrote It Should Be You. We produced, when we started the production, we decided we wanted to produce It Should Be You first, because we knew at some point that was going to be like a leading single before the entire EP. And so we started with that song. Oh my goodness, John, so if the demo version of It Should Be You, I don't sing up an octave at the end, and so it's like, it's kind of more like chill pop in the demo vibes. But then when I was in the vocal booth for recording the master vocals for It Should Be You, John, he was like, so what if you like go up an octave and you don't head voice it? Like what if you like belt scream it kind of thing? I'm like, I'm literally just gonna start squeaking and sounding like a dying whale in this booth. And so he's like, okay, step out where I'm gonna play on piano. You're gonna just like make whatever noise you need to. We're gonna get this. It took a few tries, and I was hearing it back in my headphones. I'm like, I don't sound good like this. I don't think it sounds good. I feel like I'm just like screaming. But then when he played it back on the main speakers with everything, with all the other layers in the song, I'm like, okay, you were right on that. It sounds good. This is fun. This is like a crazy energy lift. And so it was such a fun experience working with John on 2 songs for the EP. So he literally produced half the EP, because he, like, his mindset and his approach to music is really, really cool too. And I feel like I had so much in studio, like, collaborative growth from this experience, from both It Should Be You and Jokes on Me. Jokes on Me, oh my goodness, the production process of that.
That's my favorite song.
Thank you so much. It's literally, of the songs I've released, it's my favorite song of mine as well. That one, oh my god. Recording that, it was traumatizing. Because Jokes on Me, like, that is like the realest song I've ever written. It is literally my heart, like, in a song handed over to, like, any listener kind of thing. And recording that, like, after, like, every verse that we would record, like, I literally would start crying, like, in the booth. There are so many moments, like, in the song, especially in the bridge when, like, a lot of the production comes out of the song kind of thing. I was bawling my eyes out in the vocal booth, and I'd be like, John, like, I need 5 minutes kind of thing. Like, oh my God.
I've had sessions like that.
Yeah, no, because, like, I had to relive it to, like, do the song justice, because doing the song justice is doing myself justice kind of thing, and honoring the version of me and the younger me that went through this experience. And even though creating the song tore open so many wounds, my God, and, like, I bled so much, like, reliving this all, reflecting back now on it, I feel so much more healed, like, from the original catalyst situation, having gone through that song now. So yeah, no, the production process took a long time, was spread out, but came together in, like, a really coherent and healing way.
Yeah. It's like there's, like, some sort of infection that, like, healed over in, like, a blister, and the only way for it to actually heal, you have to, like, open it, which is painful, but then that's how it, like, actually heals for real.
Literally. No, that's that's perfect. That's, like, spot on for real.
I have that same sort of relationship to songwriting where, like, I can say that I've gotten over something, or that it's fine, or that I've go, but until I write about it, I haven't let it go, and I haven't gotten over it. I need to write about it.
Literally. And it's also, like, it's not even just, like, for me, it's not even just about, like, writing about it once. It's, like, I have to, like, write about it and find the words that I don't necessarily know yet how I want to express myself. But once I do, and I say them, I'll write as much as I need until it's literally, like, all out. And nothing is all out yet. I feel like the EP was, like, a really nice, like, sample-sized bite into, like, that era of my life. But I feel things so deeply and so immensely, and I literally, like, what is letting go?
Yeah.
I just, like, I live with things forever. I don't, like, I'm a Taurus. I don't let things go. What are you talking about? And so, no, I feel like I've said some things, and I've gotten out a little bit of what I want to get out. But from that experience, now I'm just, like, I want to create so much more, and I want to release bigger projects and more projects, because I need to get more out. I need to say my piece and do myself justice. And even if no one's listening, release the things that I feel like no one's ever listened to.
Tell me if you relate to this, but now that I've gotten to a point where I'm starting to see more of my songs, like, the final version sounding like a final version and not just a piano guitar demo. It's like, it's not enough to just have a piano guitar demo. I'm always, like, running to my computer. I'm like, oh, I want to build this up. I want to, like, fully produce it. And so it's like, I'm like, I got to release more music. I got it, because it's like just writing the songs and having them live in my notebook. It's not enough anymore.
No, exactly. I feel like, because I feel like, too, like, every new step that you go on, like, what might have seemed like a huge jump for you, like, years ago, it's just, like, you're like almost desensitized to it. Like, it's more normalized in a way that you're like, okay, like, I've achieved this, so this is kind of like an expectation that I continue achieving this always, and I need to achieve more kind of thing. And, like, people who are very, like, success or, like, achievement fulfillment based, I feel like that's almost like, it's the perfectionism that's, like, there has to be more, because if there's not more, then, like, we're not getting better, and if we're not getting better, we're not optimizing kind of thing, and then we're falling behind, and it's like, we can't do that, because then, like, we can't, like, offer value to people kind of thing, or that's how I feel.
Yeah. Or even, like, it's so hard to reach a ceiling, because if there's nowhere else to go, then that means that you have to be enough as you are.
Exactly.
You know what
and
I
that's
mean?
Scary.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't be content.
I was asking someone for advice on performing and just like stage presence, and they kept on saying the same thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, why is the answer to everything believe in yourself? Like, can't it be something easier than that?
Oh man, that's so real though.
So in terms of the marketing and the promotion of your EP, how far in advance of the release did you start organizing what you were going to do?
almost a year. Almost a year before. Not fully a year, because I released the EP like January 17th of this year. It was around like February or March time of last year, I think, that my manager suggested an EP to me. And like as soon as he suggested that, like that week, I was home like, okay, so if I'm doing an EP, when would I release the EP? And like what grants are potentially available to like help out with the production or the marketing of it? And then if I'm releasing an EP, I can't just release an EP right away. And then I have to do like singles ahead of time. I had You Didn't Mean It was like the first single released off the EP, but I think when we were setting up the single for that, like I didn't even know at that point in time that it would eventually be on an EP kind of thing. And so in reality, I would have even loved to like have more time to plan, but I think it was probably around like 8 to 10 months before the release date of the EP is when I started planning things out. And so I was thinking like, okay, with the EP in January, then I had It Should Be You released in October. You Didn't Mean It was released before the summer in May. And then so planning all of those things, then it's like, okay, so I have the EP, so then I need cover art and like all of the assets for distribution, so like the master song files, the cover art, all the lyrics and everything. I'll need that at least like 6 weeks before I want the EP to release. I like to do like around like 8 weeks or so then I have like even more like pitch time kind of thing, and also just so the distributor has more back end time. And then so if that's done, then it's like, okay, so then when is the It Should Be You single releasing? Because then I also need at least like 6 to 8 weeks before that to have the cover art for that and like the final song file for that all done. And so it's like the release cycle, there's always like something is coming up so that you're doing like admin stuff in the back. But then while that's coming up, like while I was promoting It Should Be You, I was doing like all the back end stuff for the EP, like pitching it to radio, pitching it to playlists, pitching it to blogs and everything. And so yeah, for me, I try like there's always months. I like to give myself months, and I really look up to like Lil Nas X, because he always talks about like I set up 2 years for this release kind of thing. Like, so I made sure that I was covering every marketing channel. So that I wasn't stressed. So I was having fun with the release kind of thing. Time is your friend, especially when you're like tighter on the financial side of things, because it's obviously like if you have a good song, a good product, and you can afford all that, then it comes down to like how much marketing push are you going to give it? Because essentially that where like the mass appeal comes down to is in like a lot of the marketing activities.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask about you mentioned you had a manager, and I was wondering, I feel like that's an area of the industry, like hiring managers or agents and working with them, that I don't know a lot about, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know a lot about, and it's hard to find out that information or find someone you trust. And so I was wondering if you could talk about the process of deciding to work with a manager, how that partnership started, and sort of just describing the experience in general.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So my manager, Tommy Lamb, icon, love him. He's the best. When was it? It was, I think, early 2022. So like 2.5 years-ish after I started releasing music for the first time. I had always known, it was always a dream of mine to be an artist, to be a musician, I remember being 3 years old and seeing the Spice Girls on TV and seeing the audiences just be like so happy, and the smiles and the way that like the audience felt so seen, and like the Spice Girls felt so seen from like all their lyrics and everything, and the energy and the connection. Like I literally remember seeing that like as a 3-year-old. That is like burned into my mind. It's like, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to make people smile like that. And so it was always my goal for this to be my career kind of thing. But like just with the insecurities and like being a kid kind of thing, you're like, oh, like I don't know if I was made for that kind of life. Like, oh, it seems like I didn't understand how to get into the industry. I was like, oh well, like I wasn't born into that life. I wasn't born made to be in that
Not a Nepo
industry
baby.
kind of thing. Hey, there we go. No, unfortunately, I was not a plant. Gosh darn.
You heard it here. Not a plant.
It's the real thing. Gosh darn. Oh my goodness. But I had gotten to a point where I had started releasing music, and then I was a few years in where I was like, I really believe in myself that I can make this my career, and I can do it at a very high level, and I can have the impact on the world that I want to have through music if I really throw myself into this and seriously take this like a business. Because I was studying business for my undergraduate degree, and everyone was always like, you're a musician, you're an artist, like, why are you in business? Because I want to make this financially successful and sustainable kind of thing. I'm like, I'm gonna make this a reality. Like, you might not get it, but I'm gonna make it a reality. I'm gonna make it happen. And I kind of just built up the consistency with managing my own career up to that point where I'm like, I am delusional enough to fully believe in myself. I know I can make this happen. And I was releasing and managing my own career that I was using as many hours as I literally had in the day for my music, and I felt like I still wasn't doing enough. And so it kind of, for me, it was like a capacity decision where I felt like I still had a lot of growth to do. I still wanted to work on my songwriting. Even to this, I always want to get better kind of thing. Like, I'm never going to stop wanting to work on myself. But I felt like I had enough of like a professional kind of like behavior and like track record with my music career at that point to show someone else that like I'm serious about this, and it's not just like a little hobby or whatnot that I'm gonna give up on if it doesn't like pan out or whatnot. Like, I'm never gonna give up because I love music so much. I've literally written songs my entire life. Whether or not I've been releasing songs, I've been writing songs, so I might as well release them kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it would also be great to do it and be successful at it and be able to pay my bills and spend all my time writing songs and hopefully get really, really successful so I'm able to make a positive change in the world and I'm able to help all the people that I've always wanted to. And I would really love to like expand access to education, especially for girls and everything. And that's part of why I like also went into a Master of Global Affairs afterward, because I'm like, I'm serious about music. I'm serious about wanting to like impact and change the world. I'm like trying to find all the resources to do it. And so yes, back to manager. Sorry. For my manager, yes. So early 2022, I got into a point where I'm like, I'm using all of the available hours in the day that I have. If I want to make me and my music bigger than just myself, then I need more than just myself working on myself. And so I had just moved back to Toronto. I had never performed before, so I didn't know people in the Toronto music community, but I have like no shame with social media. I will social media network to the day I die. And so I literally went on I went on Instagram and I literally searched up like Canadian music managers, and I somehow found the Music Manager Forum Canada Instagram page. And I literally spent 3 hours that day scrolling through every single person that was following that page, and anyone that I thought like had a cool vibe and might want to like potentially manage someone like myself, I followed them. There was a whole bunch of people that like I thought were interesting and like they were very successful and whatnot. But then I came across the profile of my now manager, Tommy, and he had like at the time he like posted up like he had like walked like the Grammy red carpet, and he had been around in the industry for so long. He had all these cool connections, and I saw an artist of his on his page that had purple hair, and purple is my favorite color, and so I was like,
meant to be.
And it was literally like 3 months before, I literally had like purple hair as well, and then I think at the time my hair was like blue. I was changing my hair color a lot. My hair is platinum right now, so we can do pastels soon. But back to the point. And so I was just like, wait, the vibes are vibing. Like the coincidences are like more than coincidences here. And so I followed him, but I also knew that like I didn't necessarily want to be the one reaching out to a manager. I want if I was going to work with a manager, I really wanted them to believe in me, kind of thing. And so I began the social media networking. Every time I'd see Tommy's posts like come up in my feed, I'd like them. After a few weeks, I'd start like commenting on me, like, oh, like this is so cool, like congrats and whatnot. And eventually, he started doing that back with my posts too.
Wow.
I saw the likes come in, I got the follow back, and then he started commenting on my posts as well. And then it was like a week after my birthday. In 2022, I get a DM from Tommy, and he's like, hi, I've been watching your career for, like, the past few weeks. Like, it's really interesting. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to chat about, like, your music. Like, when are you free for coffee or something? We ended up having, like, a 2-hour chat. And then we worked together, like, all summer. And then in the fall, he was like, like, it's been really nice, like, working together over the past few months. Like, I really trust you, and, like, you trust me kind of thing. I would love to, like, officially manage you and, like, get a contract going.
Wow.
And so, yeah, and we're coming up, this year will be our 3rd year of, working together. And so, yeah, it's been so great. Yeah, and he's fantastic. So awesome. Like, really looks out for me and, like, all of his other artists as well. For, like, obviously, like, for, like, the benefit of our careers, but also just, like, safety things with, like, all the weird stuff that happens in, like, entertainment, especially to, like, women and, like minorities and whatnot. He's super protective, but also very well connected and very well respected. And it's just, like, never shady about stuff. And it's crazy, because since I've moved to Toronto and I've like met other artists, I've become like very integrated within the community, hanging out with people all the time. I've heard so many horror stories of like all the management companies around here. Like, I don't know how I literally like leapfrogged over all of that and like ended up with like a saint. But my God, there are some terrifying stories. And so literally, please, like, if you're looking for a manager, if they're trying to get you to, like, sign right away kind of thing, that's kind of weird, right? And, like, because if someone really believes in you and whatnot, like, and you also don't necessarily, you should kind of work together for, like, a little while, at least first, so, like, you can learn their style, they learn you figure out even if you want to work with each other long-term kind of thing. But yeah, no, anyone who's, like, pressuring you to, like, sign right away, like, it's very odd. You should always get like a second opinion on things. Talk to other artists if you're not super like well connected within the community. Going out to shows, like local indie artist shows, is literally the best way to meet like other artists, because like a lot of the indie artist shows, like everyone in the audience, like we're all part of the community and we're going out to support other artists because we know how hard the live music scene is in Toronto, like especially in a winter too kind of thing. But literally, you will meet such cool people that will help to warn you about potentially bad, whether it's management, whether it's like, because there are so many people that are so passionate and love music and deserve success. And then there's also so many people that see people that are passionate and love music and want success without doing the work or putting in the effort to deserve it. So be it like, really try to like get yourself in the community, have like a good like panel of voices that you can like always like get feedback from and whatnot, and then trust your gut. Don't rush into anything, because yeah, like getting yourself locked into like a bad deal, whatever the deal may be, that like I'm so grateful that I've never had that experience, but like just to think about that, like my God, that must be so like crushing and just like horrible.
Yeah. Can you describe more of what your manager does to help you with your career and what opportunities he gives you that you might not have been able to get yourself doing it independently?
Absolutely. In like a broad kind of view, like he's really like the guiding force of kind of like the journey and the path of my career. He's always made it so clear to me that I have creative control, and like at the end of the day, like I get final say in things, but he's so capable and he's so successful, and like why wouldn't I listen to his opinion kind of thing, right? Like I trust him we've worked together for so long, and so he is always such an amazing like sounding board for any of my ideas that I'm like, oh hey, like what do you think about this? But then he's such a good resource for like, hey, like this is how things are usually done, or this is how things have been done before. This is how your idea may work or may not work. And then, oh, here are these other things that like you may just never have come across before, and so you wouldn't even have considered them, but they might help your idea, they might replace your idea and do better and achieve whatever your intent was more genuinely, more honestly. But so he's really like the guiding force of all the craziness that I want to put out into the world. And so what does that look like in kind of like actionably and like in the tasks itself? My goodness, next week, we're going to the Junos weekend together in Vancouver. Yay. And so he's essentially been like organizing a bunch of networking events and like getting me into networking events and like securing the tickets and everything for that. He's like last year, the Junos in Halifax, that was my first time going to the Junos, and he was the one that like set up the whole like experience and the whole weekend. We had like our own showcase where like other people that, because all of Canada, like wherever the Junos is happening, whether or not you're going, I'm not going to like the actual Juno Awards ceremony. I'm there for the weekend for all the networking. Networking is everything. Always do the digital trendy stuff, but like your in-person connections, you have to be like popping on socials so that when you get in front of someone who is a gatekeeper kind of thing, they're like, oh yeah, they're doing well, like they're building their own audience, but like I also know them because I know their manager, and their manager introduced me to them, and I met them in person, and they're a nice person. Oh yeah, I'll like push them ahead kind of thing. Once you get into events and you start meeting people, you realize like whatever the industry is, people enjoy working with people they know. People enjoy working with their friends. People enjoy working with people that they can deal spending time around kind of thing. And so the more people you know in the industry, the more people will talk about you, the more people will like just have a positive opinion or like just be like, oh yeah, I met them. They were nice. They like held the door open for me one time. Like, here, go onto this playlist, or like go onto this like radio thing, or I'm going to invite them to this event where I'll introduce them to this producer that knows someone from this label or knows someone from this other production team that like it's all like the little like steps up kind of thing. And so I feel like that for like people that don't value the business side and the networking, the personal relationship side as much, sometimes they'll look at that and they'll almost misunderstand it. There are some shady deals for sure, but I feel like a lot of the networking that is accessible when you put in the time and you build those community and industry connections, it's misunderstood in a way, and it's not as valued by people who look at the business side of music as something that's dirty or shady. It definitely can be if you're a dirty or a shady person, but it can also be really wonderful and really honest and super collaborative and very entrepreneurial and so exciting and as much of an art as the creative, artistic part is. And so yeah, I feel like that's like really how you have to look at that. But back to the manager point. So the networking has been so important for that. Also, I mean, obviously with song distribution and whatnot, artists like on our analytics platforms, like we have certain like playlist pitching capabilities. But for example, like for Apple, like to pitch to their playlists, you need like a label manager doing it. And so my manager, he set up like a company kind of thing to be able to like pitch like from like a professional like standpoint kind of way. We've been applying for a whole bunch of like factor grants and everything for music recently, and so I will always do like my first draft and whatnot, and then I'll send it to him, and then he sculpts it and whatnot. Oh, nice. And he like really helps me like be able to understand the different viewpoints from the industry, because my manager, he's been in a band, he's like hosted a radio show, he's managed multiple different artists in various genres and everything. Like he's lived every different like role, and he's worn every different like hat of the music industry. And so I get like so many different perspectives to be able to understand like what the message is that I want to communicate and how people are going to perceive that, to make sure that they are receiving like what I want them to kind of thing. Like they're receiving what I'm transmitting almost.
That's so great.
So yeah. So yeah. Managers my gosh, like if you can find a good one, like they are your best friend, and it's also someone to celebrate with, because when you're a solo artist, if you don't have a team yet, kind of thing, and like everyone, like you have to go through this stage kind of thing, like you have to be like just by yourself, and at the beginning almost, it's so exciting seeing yourself grow. But also at the end of the day, it can also feel lonely, and like you're like, oh, I'm accomplishing all these cool things, and like they're cool, but like how cool are they? Or like oh, this, like a congrats, but like
it's hard to be your own cheerleader.
Exactly, like I'm like it's hard to clap for yourself all the time, and so and then also when you have like challenges, or when you feel like you've like had a failure at something, or like you've missed a goal. It can be really hard to like sit with that yourself. And so having a manager is like someone to celebrate with, but then also someone to reflect with, and to know that like, okay, because we maybe didn't achieve whatever our goal was for this, here's how we shift and pivot for next time. And so we know that that failure is nothing personal. It is a misalignment of action and your like objective, and you got to try again. You got to shift, you got to change. And it's nice having someone that takes you out of your head when the voices in your head aren't always very nice.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. It's hard to pull yourself out, and it's nice, it's so great to have someone that you trust, and you trust their opinion to like give you honest feedback.
Yeah, because you know and you trust first by getting to know this person, and then like backed up by whatever agreement you have, that they want the best for you, because the best for you should be the best for them as well.
So you are very active on social media. You have a great social media presence. And I was wondering if you could talk more about your approach and what the process is like for creating and delivering that high quality content.
Absolutely. Well, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I feel like I've been slacking over like the past 2 weeks because I started like a new day job kind of thing. And I've been trying to like get onboarded and get like settled with that. But yeah, I started off hating social media kind of thing, because like I just didn't get it. And I didn't get TikTok. I didn't get like, I felt like I put so much effort into content for it to like flop and not do well. And I was just like, I hate this. I hated doing it so much. And I was screwing myself over by hating it and by having this like disdain mindset for it, that the beginning of like 2024 last year, that was my year of shifting my mindset towards, content. Like every year I have like almost like a yearly goal, like an overarching goal, and 2024 was like I am going to get consistent on social media, and my God, did it help. My Lord, like for real, it was forcing myself in the beginning to flip my mindset and really be grateful and embrace the fact that like, you know what? Maybe I won't get a million billion views on like every TikTok or whatnot, but even a few hundred that eventually became 1,000 kind of thing, that's a lot of people still seeing that content. And if I want to get to the million, bajillion, gazillion, like I have to get 100 people to watch it first, who then will tell their friends, who eventually will be 500 people, which will then be 1,000 people, which will then be 10,000 people, which eventually will be the million, bazillion people and whatnot. But so it was building the consistency, and learning that like with social media, I find that like the more effort you put into content, the worse it does.
Literally.
Like social media, like I had it almost flip in my mind that like I am not performing to an audience on social media. I am talking one-on-one to my best friend kind of thing. Like this should feel so unfiltered, obviously like within my brand identity kind of thing. So like the visual, I try to be mindful like of the visuals. I try like depending on what like kind of like release era I'm in, I'm mindful of like what kind of like dominant colors like will show up on my feed and whatnot. But it was being okay sharing a lot more like unfiltered or like less scripted version of myself, being like almost ready to kind of just like hold my phone up in front of me and like just lip sync my song like in the moment, and then like trust that the song in the lyrics and then like whatever like point of view or like this song feels like will carry and will relate, and if it connects up with someone, it's gonna connect with someone. I don't need like a million different flashing graphics going on. Like, if the content is good enough, it will stop someone in their doom scroll and get them to engage and whatnot. And the more genuine it is, to me, the more fun I have doing it, and the easier it is, kind of thing. For me, editing is what takes the most time, and if I fall behind on content, it's just because I like haven't gotten into editing it now. But I've loved just like filming and sharing things that are important to me, are important to my life, things that like make sense within the context of a song. Yeah, just like sharing more of myself and being comfortable sharing more of myself, whether or not I think it's polished or pretty or not, because like that's not reality. Like, people love who they love because they're real, and it's all the imperfections and the mistakes and all the awkwardness and the quirks that make people the people that we love, kind of thing. And so like learning to like press post, and if I need to throw my phone and scream as I run circles around my freaking kitchen out there, that's what I will do. And I will not let myself delete something. I will not let myself delete a post unless it like bombs, kind of thing, and I'm like, yeah, no, this wasn't genuine. It didn't feel good. Like, I was kind of just posting to maintain consistency rather than like quality and consistency. What I do try to aim for, and I've missed this for the past few weeks, but it's what I was having like last year, is that like 2 to 3 reels a week of like different formats is usually really helpful. And like, once you build consistency and someone sees something they like, they'll go to your profile and they'll engage with like the other things. So it's really a virtuous and exponential cycle once you're able to build that consistency. But if you don't have consistency, then like you don't have new people just randomly checking out your profile to check out your other new content all the time. And so it's building consistency. So I try to go for like, I aim for 3 reels a week. One of them should be like lip syncing lyrics kind of thing, like whatever my like recent song is that like I want to like push on promoting, or like an old song that I haven't promoted in a long time but I just need content, and like I released that song, I thought it was a good song, we need to revisit her. I'll like lip sync it and then like do a little fun like edit kind of thing. Another reel should be like talking to the camera, so like they get to see your personality, because some people are just gonna listen to your music and that's totally fine, that's cool, but the fans that are going to become super fans, that are going to potentially give you like the success and the financial ability to like potentially like have music as like your job and like your main career kind of thing, they're going to want to learn more about you. It's like you are what they're like latching onto, and like the really cool songs that you release are like a benefit almost kind of thing. And they want to know you. They want to know the person behind the song that made them feel something, that made their heart felt like held, or that like grabbed their heart in some kind of way. And so they want to learn, like, when you stutter, what kind of stutters are the stutters that you're gonna do? When you say like or like up, like what are the kind of things that like you're gonna break up your words with? Or do you talk with your hands, or like do you kind of like sit more still and like chill kind of thing? Like, do you like, are you super animated? What kind of things are you gonna wear? Like, literally a friend. Like, they want to get to know you. And so you got to give them that. Whatever, even if you think it's boring, it's not boring to someone. Literally just talk to the camera, just talk something about your life, talk about why you wrote a song, do a vlog of the day, talk about like how you record, or like something. Just talk to the camera, talk to a friend, and you're not talking to an audience. It's not, hey guys, it's I'm talking one-on-one right now. Like, I'm looking at the camera like it's literally my best friend. Like, it's a person. Like, you literally need to bring that camera to life. It's your bestie. It's not a camera. You're not preaching to someone. You're having a one-on-one conversation. And then for like a third kind of content, because I have like engagement, awareness, and community kind of thing. And so like engagement is usually kind of like something that is like, how would I describe it in like music terms?
Is it like the eye-catching, the thing that hooks people in?
Yeah, it has the hook. Like, engagement could even be like some of those like skit type like content posts where like you're like, oh, like you walk into the studio, like you're gonna throw your song somewhere in the video, but like it's kind of like the silly like hooks that like are the little
Yeah.
skits. It's very engaging. You want people to share it. You want them to comment on something. You almost want to like be controversial in like a good way, or almost like kind of like a ooh, like I don't know about that kind of way. So like people comment kind of thing or share it. The awareness is like the lip syncing, spreading your song, spreading the lyrics, spreading the like the meaning behind the song, and then the community is that like the one-on-one, like very personal, fun, like friendship building kind of thing. And yeah, I find like 3 times a week, like that's a minimum, but it's a lot to manage already. So
Yeah. But I find also the more you do it and the more consistent you get, you start to develop your own workflow, and then it does
Exactly.
get a lot easier and go a lot faster.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I mean, when it's new, but like once you build the muscle memory of like just like having like a free like 10 minutes to yourself and be like, okay, I'm gonna lip sync this portion of my song like a few times over with like different angles or whatnot, and like just have that video like saved in my phone, so the next time that I have a free hour, I'm gonna sit back and just start editing that video. And if you could also like even dedicate like a Saturday or a Sunday to like filming and then editing, you can schedule out like multiple posts. Because when I am consistent with content, it's because I've literally, like, I've dedicated a weekend to, like, setting up content for, like, the week kind of thing. Because if you have to post, like, in the moment, in the present, something's always going to happen that, like, it's going to pull you out of your consistency, as I am out of my consistency right now. But yeah, I try to focus on video content. And then with like photos, I've been trying to do like higher quality productions for photos, but with friends still, because like I don't have like a huge budget for any of this kind of thing. It's very much like bootstrapping and like finding as many friends and like as many talented people that I already know in my life as possible to like just create really cool things with. And then yeah, but also giving yourself grace, because it's tough. At some point, I would love to have like a social media like manager or something.
Yeah.
Because it's fun, and because it allows me to continue the storytelling. It allows me to act. The storytelling and the connection is what I love most.
And you can be creative.
Exactly. But it's just like, if I'm doing this, then I'm not writing songs, and if I'm writing songs, then I'm not preparing my next like release plan or whatnot. It's like I love everything, and I wish I could do more of everything.
Yeah, that's so true, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. So we're getting towards the end of the interview. I have 2 more questions. First one is, what is one piece of advice that you would give to an emerging artist beginning their career?
One piece of advice.
One piece of advice.
Just one. That's so tough. Oh my god. Because I want to say, like, content. Like, be consistent with content. Because yeah, like obviously do a little bit of everything. Do as much of everything as you can. But if I literally can only give one piece of advice, it's content. And be consistent on content, post content, because content will lead to literally everything else. Like invites to events where you can network. If someone's just scrolling and finds you in like hashtag Toronto music scene or Toronto artists or whatnot, networking can come from that. And maybe that's where you meet a manager or you meet an artist to collab with, and they introduce you to a new producer kind of thing. Like everything can come from content, but you have to be out there. Like content is your digital real estate. The more that you're able to put out into the world, the more likely it is that you'll be found by someone that has the key to the next level of your career kind of thing. And so literally, like, it's crazy all the opportunities that have come to me because of my dedication to content last year, from like brand partnerships to event invites to like finding like artists that I have idolized throughout my childhood that have found me found me like from my content and like none of my content is super viral or whatnot, but they just came across it somehow. Like literally be where your audience is. Just always take the initiative. Wait, maybe it's my one piece of advice for be the initiative. Oh no. Just never, like, the world is not out to get you. I believe everything comes down to chance. And if you want things to happen, it takes hard work and a little bit of luck. Optimize your chances and make it happen for yourself first, because it literally, it just takes you like bursting the dam for everything else to come flooding in. It's an exponential journey kind of thing, but like you really got to get it rolling in the first place. Be consistent, take the initiative. If you don't have access to someone, be that someone until you find yourself in the room with someone that can do it better than you.
That's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah. The last question is, what music recommendation would you like to share with our audience?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Tate McRae, my girl Tate, my queen, she just released her new album. So good, so good. If you bought the digital download, then you'll also have gotten Better Than I Was. That song is so good. But an artist that's like rising right now on social media is Erin LeCount, and her song Silver Spoon. It is an experience. It is not just a song. She did everything on that song herself. Like, she wrote, performed, produced it, like, all at her freaking house. It is so beautiful. It will hit your heart like a wall of bricks. She's literally going to be like a star. Like, she creates such a feeling. It's so talented and so young.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Bedroom Studios podcast. Don't forget to add this podcast to your playlist and follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify at Bedroom Studios Podcast. You can follow NYRE on social media and check out her music. All links can be found in the episode description. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.